Merry Christmas, Gator Nation. Today we're going to bring you a special edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning, hosted by the one and only Steve Russell, as he is joined by the legendary head ball coach Steve Spurrier. They're going to bring you a rundown of the college football playoffs as well as the NFL playoffs. So before I turn things over to Steve Russell and Steve Spurrier, I would like to bring you guys a nice little story that I would like to call A Night Before Swampmas. 'Twas the night before kickoff in Gainesville so bright. The swamp it lay waiting, lit up by the lights. The helmets were polished, the jerseys laid out, while Gator fans whispered, then started to shout. The chumps were all practiced, the chants at the ready, orange mixed with blue, strong, loyal, and steady. When out on the stage there arose such a cheer, two legends were coming, true Gators draw near. Up walked Spurrier, smiling, visor in hand, the head ball coach himself, still ruling the land. With him came Steve Russell, voice sharp and well known, talking Gator great moments like only he's shown. They spoke of big wins and the swamp's roaring might, of rivals turned quiet on a long Saturday night, of Heisman dreams, goalposts, and passes so clean, what it means truly to wear orange and blue pride unseen. The clouds leaned in close for each story and take, every laugh, every insight, each memory awake. This shows one you don't miss, the word quickly spread, as Gators nodded along to each thing that was said. So remember, dear Gators, as the season draws near, with legends like these, there's no room left to fear. And as Spurrier quipped with a grin full of cheer, go Gators to all, and let Summerall bring in a good year.
We are doing a special edition today of Inside The Huddle. We're not done with the football season because the football season's not over, both in college and in the pros. The show brought to you in part by Titan MRI and also Meldon Law. We thank those folks for sponsoring us today. And of course, my pleasure to have the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, here. I'm Steve Russell. Coach, let's start. First of all, let's backtrack a little bit. Okay. Heisman. You went to the Heisman Award. You've been going every year since, what, 1977?
Yeah, I think so, 77 or 78. I've been going back, and I've had the opportunity. Well, I missed a few when I was coaching the Washington team in the NFL, because they play on Sunday, of course, that's part of the year. So I did miss one or two in there along the way.
Your thoughts on Mendoza?
Mendoza, he's a class young man, really is, and I got a chance to meet the head coach of that Indiana team, Kurt Signetti. He's a sharp guy, and he told me, I think his dad was a high school coach. All I ever wanted to do was coach football. Wow. And now he's got a chance. And he was, his path, he was at Alabama, and he said, I can die here as an assistant coach. So he got a job at Elon College up in North Carolina, turned those guys into a winner, and then I think on up to James Madison, and then to Indiana. Yeah.
Do you think Pavia hurt himself with what he did at the
blasted out?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was sort of unlike him. He seems to be a very, class young man. But yeah, I don't think so. It can bury hopefully real soon.
Coach, sometimes with the Heisman, there's really gaudy statistics, and sometimes it's just guys closely competing. Mm-hmm. When you watch Mendoza play, what were your thoughts in watching him do his work?
I like the way he takes his steps and throws the ball. I was telling him up there at the event, you're one of the few quarterbacks that actually takes his steps, puts his foot in the ground, and throws it. And they do that a lot up there. Nowadays everybody's running around here, there, and the pass protections are, you don't have that much time. You need to go back there and get rid of it. But anyway, Mendoza did that and did it very well all year. And, team's undefeated, and he won the Heisman. But they'll be ready for the playoff game. They've got Indiana and it's not Oregon, is it?
No, I don't. I forget who it is. I got to look it up.
I got to look it up,
should know.
Too. Yeah. But anyway, big games is coming. Yeah.
I wanted to also ask, Coach, when it comes to some of the first playoff games, I understand, James Madison's in it, Tulane's in it, and of course for Gator fans, that's Summerall. Do you think Group of 5 teams going forward should be allowed to be in the playoff?
Well, they're obviously taking one or two spots of better teams. Everybody can see that right away. But it looks like it's going to be easily expanded to 16. And then you got 8 on both sides playing every day and so forth. So I think that's the next step.
What were some of your thoughts on some of the games, the first week's games?
Yeah, they were both, interesting. Of course, the Alabama-Oklahoma one was the big one that Oklahoma up 17-0 and still lose. So I tell you, Alabama this year, every time I watch them, they make more fourth down conversions.
They sure do.
The Auburn game, they won that on a fourth
They
down.
do. You're right, Coach.
They make them all the time. They had to beat Missouri earlier in the year at Missouri. They made 3 of them. And it turned the whole game around. So anyway, they're good in the clutch. Alabama's been good in the clutch.
And, watching them play, they're almost like the cardiac kids. They never really have an easy game. I mean, they had a tough schedule, but I'll give one thing for DeBoer's team. They battle. They don't quit. I think that says a lot about the head coach because his team plays hard and don't quit. Yeah,
he's got them playing hard, and all these coaches do just about. That was just the Texas A&M. They just couldn't get anything going much offensively, and then they threw an interception in the end zone. That was the season, really, right there.
Yeah, 11-2, and yet it seems like it wasn't enough. But they had a terrific year. All right, now that Coach Summerall is done at Tulane, gets a chance to come here now, assess his team, the portal, get his coaching staff together. Coach, what are your impressions of Coach Summerall?
Everybody that knows him understands he's a fireball guy. He's a defensive coordinator. He's not a quarterback coach. So he's going to show some fire on the sideline. I think will really help us and spread through the team. He lets his assistant coaches coach, and I'm sure he probably, as a former defensive player, he might look in a little bit more on the defense than the offense.
And I think it's the same. I mean, when you coached, you had assistant coaches that you knew, throughout your time in coaching. And he's done the same thing, it looks like, with his staff, that he's getting guys that he's familiar with to come here and coach with him.
Yeah, the Georgia Tech offensive coordinator coming, I think they've been good friends. So, that's sort of what happens in the coaching business. If you get one before me, bring me, and I'll bring you if you get one before me. So anyway, congratulations to all those guys, yeah.
Bob Stoops retired. Your thoughts?
Bob or Mark?
Bob Stoops retired.
From what?
From coaching. He was coaching in the...
that one. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you. That was... yeah, he didn't want to do that anymore this year. So the UFL.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought he retired from making commercials or something. No, he can still do that. Yeah.
Let's talk a little NFL a little bit. The Jaguars have certainly turned things around, and they've not been traditionally a very good franchise. But Liam Cohen has come there, and they knocked off Denver over the weekend. Denver's a really good team with Sean Payton. The Jaguars all of a sudden are winning, and I think they're just a lot tougher on lines of scrimmage. When you watch the Jags, what do you see?
I see a good team and well coached, and so they're not beating themselves, and they got good players. So they're finally, Vince Lombardi once said winning is a habit, and unfortunately so is losing. So now they're in a winning habit a little bit.
The other thing, too, the Bucks, your old team, lost the division lead. They're below 500 now. Going to be a little tough for them maybe to recapture that division. They've had some injuries. I mean, Evans has not been healthy all year long, a couple of receivers, but they were leading the division almost all year till now. Kind of a tough way to end the year.
Yeah, they've really hit a slump there. They were winning all the close games, and then all of a sudden, bang, we start losing them. And that's sort of when the teams are all so close, that it's Kansas City, for example, they got the same guys that have been winning with all along, and now they lost all their close games, so they're out of it. So anyway, win your close games. that's the way to win, I think, in the NFL.
You know, a guy that I do not know, never met, I don't know if you have, but Jim Harbaugh is an interesting guy in a lot of ways, Coach. And, you know, we can go back and look at his history, what happened at Michigan and all of that. But they won a championship there, and the Chargers are winning. They have not won in a while. When he was with the 49ers, he won at the 49ers. So, I mean, he may be quirky and all of that, but he does win when he coaches.
Oh, yeah, he is known as being an outstanding coach. Won a national championship at Michigan. He did get to coach that last one, didn't he? But that's when he had to sit out a couple. Well, Sherrone Moore, he had to sit out a couple. Now he's got to sit out all of them, I would guess. But anyway.
Sometimes when I'm watching a game, and I really do this, I think of you. And I think, I wonder what Coach Spurrier is thinking when he watches this or he watches plays develop. How do you watch a game? Do you look at it still from the coaching standpoint, just watch it as a fan? How do you do that when you watch a game?
When I watch a game, it would be almost like the guy in the press box. So you can see the whole field. Yeah, I like to see the whole field. And you know, guess where he's going to run it or guess where he's going to throw it a little bit, things of that nature. But the saddest I was this past year I was watching Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and Ole Miss threw 4 touchdown passes on a go route, and Mississippi State was playing bump and run. And I almost wanted to yell out, please tell somebody, don't play bump and run. They throw touchdowns every time. But that was interesting. That led to a touchdown. But anyway.
When we do our chalk talk, I always am fascinated by how you draw up plays, how you remember them, first of all. But, you know, Shane Matthews, who a dear friend, he always talks about the simplicity. That, you know, we knew as our quarterbacks where to go with the football. Coach taught us that. And it seems so simple, Steve, but you made it that way for them. Is it as simple now? Because you really did make it that way, but it seems like now it's almost more complicated to try to play the position.
Yeah, I think it is some places. Shane will tell you we kept ours pretty simplistic as we could. And then we had to protect our signals, some of the other schools, which is perfectly legal. So you got to protect that. But I think how John Sumrall calls his plays, or the Georgia Tech guy, I guess I should say, is you get up there and get going quicker. So quickness is an advantage with the play caller.
We are doing a special edition of Inside the Huddle, a holiday edition here with the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. I'm Steve Russell. We thank you for tuning in. Titan MRI, Meldon Law, sponsoring our podcast today. Steve, I know down the road here, coming up pretty soon, your Coach of the Year award. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we got the Steve Spurrier first year at the school Coach of the Year. It's got to be your first year at the school. And I tell you what's amazing, Dan Mullen is maybe the clear choice. And we can't even find a second place. Think about that. Yeah, there was no big changes a year ago. Now we're going to have a lot of candidates
next year.
Next year. Oh, we got candidates all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be something next year. So people may need to get your tickets early for next year.
That's going to be in February, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I want to talk about Lane Kiffin for a second, Coach, because a lot of Gator fans obviously wanted him to come here. He did not, for whatever the reason. But as you said, there are so many new head coaches now. Even in our league, there's a lot of them. Do you think the patience is running out? So coaches used to get, remember, 5-year deals, and most of the time they'd get most of that contract. That doesn't happen now. Is that just the pressure of winning and the money in the sport?
Maybe 3 years. Most of them get at least 4 years, something like that. And then if it's not moving in the right direction, then they think they need to make a change.
Yeah, pretty tough to do.
Yeah.
When you take a look now, Coach, with players leaving, money, all of that, there may be collective bargaining. Players might become employees down the road. There's so much change in the sport, and it's become an NFL model now, general managers and all of that. Do you like that sort of change in college football?
Well, I don't like it. I don't think anybody that coached and played back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or whatever, would agree they don't like it. But it is the way it is right now, and nobody seems to be leading the charge to try to do it like the NFL. They, just got to have some kind of, you would think, salary cap. But right now, I don't think any caps on anything much.
No. Well, and now there's so much pressure on athletic directors to make the right hire. It has to happen in a hurry. And they're going to maybe expand the playoff a little bit. But certainly if you look at the schedule for Florida, I mean, Billy Napier was not the luckiest guy. I mean, he had difficult schedules. At least on paper, Steve, the schedule does lighten up a little bit for Summerall.
Yeah, it does. And I think our three common opponents are going to be every year Kentucky, Georgia,
South Carolina.
And South Carolina.
Yep. Which
right up and down the
on
coast.
paper, you would think it'd be a bit easier. As you look at what Georgia has done, with Kirby Smart, look, I know it's Georgia if you're a Gator fan, but I think what he's done is pretty remarkable there. I mean, they've had some off-the-field issues with, speeding and all that kind of stuff, and that's not good. But what it seems to me, Steve, he's developed some kind of culture there. They just know what it takes to win and how to win. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Winning breeds more winning, as we know. Coach Lombardi, I think, said that. And Georgia's definitely got it going right now. And, next quarterback up, they think you have to go spend $5-10 million on a quarterback somewhere. And their guys that have led them to championships, Stetson Bennett, walk on. And this kid here is waited his turn. They'll wait their turn. So they got good camaraderie there, no question about it.
We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll continue with our special holiday version of Inside the Huddle with Steve Spurrier. I'm Steve Russell. We'll be back to talk some more football. Stay with us.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
With time running out, the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, shares a play to score the perfect last-minute Christmas gift.
Spurrier's Gridiron gift cards are on sale for 20% off. You can go to spurriers.com and order a digital card or stop by my restaurant in Celebration Point and pick some up today for the Gators and foodies in your life. Use the code GC20 and get 20% off. That's right, 20% off gift cards with code GC20.
Hurry, this deal is only valid through December 26th.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Welcome back to our special edition of Inside the Huddle, the holiday edition here, along with the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. I'm Steve Russell. We thank you for tuning in. And Meldon Law, Titan MRI, graciously sponsoring our holiday podcast today, talking some football. Coach, let's go over some of the games here coming up in round two of the college football playoff. Oregon had a big first half, kind of let off the gas a little bit, let James Madison back in it. But they've got a Texas Tech team, which I think is the sleeper team of this whole thing. They've had a terrific year. They really went into the portal. They spent a lot of money. Their offensive linemen have a lot of money invested, but they're a good team.
I think that's a toss-up game.
I do
Either
too.
team could win, and that's certainly what the playoff people want. They want good, close games that go down the wire, and that's what I think that one will be.
And really, Texas Tech has done a good job in terms of investing their money. They did spend a lot of money on their offensive linemen, but it has paid off for them, no doubt about it. A rematch of SEC teams, Georgia and Ole Miss. This will be interesting because, like we were talking about before, I'm sure Pete Golding was very happy, and the Ole Miss fans were very happy that they won that game without Lane Kiffin, the offense that they called, Charlie Watts Jr. called. Yeah. And, Georgia is very good, but here's a rematch game.
Yeah, that was a good one back in the regular season, and it'll be another good one in all likelihood. And, the Ole Miss offense seems to be right on key like it was late in the year.
Isn't it something, Coach, about you have a starting quarterback go down, and here's a kid in Trinidad Chambliss who, came out of nowhere.
State.
What he has done is pretty remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, not only is the kid talented, but he's a leader, too. He came, I think, Ferris State was the college he came out of. But he can play the game, no question about it.
And then the Miami Hurricanes in a very windy Kyle Field. Coach mentioned it. A&M went 11-2 and didn't win anything. I mean, it's a great year for them, but in terms of hardware, not much. But they get Ohio State. A lot of people, Coach, think Ohio State is the best team in the country. Miami's good on defense, so we'll see what happens in this one.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. That'll be a heck of a game. Two big universities that spend a bunch of money, both of them. They all do, yeah.
And then the other matchup, we'll have Alabama against Indiana. Alabama kind of the cardiac kids. We get to see Mendoza play here. Signetti, you mentioned you met him, and when he was hired, he said, "Look me up. I'm a winner." He just strikes me as being somebody that players want to play for. They rally around him, and he obviously knows what he's doing. He's turned that program around in a hurry.
I would say in 2 years, they're averaging about 11 wins a season right now. But he's done. It's been remarkable. And you talk about winning close ball games. He's had a knack of doing that also.
It's pretty sure that there's going to be expansion here of the playoff. But I just wonder down the road, Steve, when you got all these things we talked about at the top of the podcast here with, possibly student athletes being employees now, collective bargaining. Utah has a private equity firm now that's involved in their funding. I mean, I guess this all boils down to trying to come up with ways to raise the necessary money.
Well, there's no limit, I don't think, that I know of. But, there's most every state university or private big schools, they got boosters that are billionaires, not just million, but billion. And they're looking for somewhere to give it to, so NIL might be their spot.
I wonder, one of the things I always respected about you when you were coaching is that you always gave a shout out to some of the female teams, that you wanted those teams. The soccer, when Becky was coaching, Mary was coaching, you gave them a shout out. And it's a shame to me that more of this money can't go to those teams.
That's right.
And I think there's going to be a lawsuit here. I think there's going to be a Title IX lawsuit because it can't keep going the way it is. And if it does keep going the way it is, maybe Florida can afford it, but maybe some other schools, can't afford to keep those teams. And all of a sudden, you don't have a women's team of whatever.
That's true.
That doesn't seem right, does it?
It doesn't seem right. No, I would not vote for that at all.
And that's maybe where we're going to head if it doesn't straighten out here. What would you, if you could change anything, Steve, about this whole situation now, the way things are going, anything that you would like to see implemented or changed? Because it just seems to me, and I'll give a shout out to the Gator fan base. Were they frustrated? Yes. Were they angry? Yes. They want Billy Napier fired? Yes. But they came out and supported the team. I mean, you got to give them credit. They put people in the
yeah.
seats. But, at some point, there has to be something that's going to break this. You'd think that breaks this money thing, but it just seems like there's almost printing money.
Yeah, nobody knows exactly how they all do it because I think all the players are told now, this is a deal between us. You don't need to tell anybody this, that, and the other. So they keep it pretty quiet, seems like. But the only thing that I think, NFL, they have a salary cap, and it's way up there. And obviously, their guys make millions all over the place. But anyway, if you have a salary cap in college, at least that you can spend everything underneath it.
Yep.
But I don't know if they'll do that or not.
Do you think fans are tiring of this? Do you think fans are looking at all this and going, man, I don't know if I want to be involved in this anymore? Yeah. Sometimes I think that, Steve, but then people are still going to games. I mean, they're still supporting their team, so they may complain about it.
That's true.
But I don't know at what point the fan doesn't stop and say, I've had it, or I can't keep donating all this money.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like everybody needs more and more money.
Yeah. Well, those who don't have it, they're not expected to send. But there's plenty of wealthy multimillionaire guys out there that can help out. I don't know. But anyway, should be some good ball games this week, and then the next week, and so forth. We're still just getting into it, aren't we?
No question.
Yeah.
Right. Last couple of things here, Steve, I want to ask. In terms of the way, even from when you were coaching to now, how do you see, if anything, the game has changed since you coached in terms of play calling or what teams are running or that sort of thing? What have you seen anything?
Oh, in the X's and O's?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I don't see very many with the quarterback under the center, his hands under the center. I would have, if I had doing it now, I would do a little about half of both, under center and in the gun. But there's something about underneath you just can see better, and everybody takes off when you say hut. So you tell everybody what to do. That interception, Alabama and Oklahoma, the quarterback thought he was running a hitch, and he wasn't, and threw that pick six. And those things, I was telling somebody, the quarterback tells that guy to run a hitch. He can't do it on his own. So give him a signal. Sometimes we used to tap the helmet or something like that. But, you got to have signals to talk to each other out there.
And I guess the other thing, too, is, players are bigger, stronger, faster, than what they used to be. And I just wonder now if, things – I don't know if the running game has been devalued a little bit because – in the NFL, running backs aren't paid what they used to be paid. Quarterback is the most important position, I think, maybe in sports now. And yet, Steve, sometimes it isn't the highest paid guy. It's the Mendozas of the world. It's the guys like that. Look at Carson Beck. He's making a ton of – now, his team's in the playoff, give him that. But he hasn't exactly set the world on fire at Miami, and, he's making a lot of money.
He's got a good team with him, yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes it isn't just – about the money. Last two things. In terms of Summerall, Steve, what do you expect from him? How long do you think it could take for Florida to get back among the better teams in the country?
Well, recruiting is different now, so I don't know if when I got here they said, we'll give you a couple of years to recruit now, and then after that, I said, listen, I got the teams here for 2 years. I don't know who's coming after these guys leave. But anyway, we could have a heck of a team next year. Yeah, bring a few guys in here, there, and the other. They bond together and form a unity and team, and I think John Summerall's good at building team unities, things that are really important.
I do want to mention this, and I'm sure if you watched the Summerall press conference, Steve and Urban, we're sitting together. Urban in the Ring of Honor now. It was good to see Urban wearing a Gator jacket again. So it was good to see him, back here, wearing Gator colors and wearing the Gator jacket. So I think that was a pretty cool thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good to get Urban in the College Football Hall of Fame out in Vegas. Had a good bunch of Gators go out there with us. Tommy Shannon and his wife went, and several other prominent boosters here.
The Heisman, I want to end with this. You go every year. What's special about that for you? Why do you keep going back every year?
A lot of us come back every year. Tebow and Danny are always there. But then there's a lot of guys that has too much problem, flying up and so forth. But obviously my wife Jerry enjoys seeing everybody once a year. So that's what we do.
You are you pretty chummy with a lot of them, or maybe in
Yeah, I know most of them. Well, the ones that come all the time. It's usually about 25 guys that are there every year.
It's funny. When I was a kid, I could recite the Heisman winners.
All the way down.
And starting in the 50s, and it's amazing now if you look at the resurgence of Navy, being pretty good. I'm a big history guy, and I didn't realize this. From 1958 to 1963, there were 3 either Army or Navy guys that won the Heisman.
Oh, yeah. And then Joe Bellino even later.
Yeah.
A little later, 60.
So it was just, if you go back that far, you're Roger Staubach, Joe Bellino, Pete Dawkins, right? They were all, Army or Navy. And those teams back then were, pretty darn good.
Yeah. And they were all independent.
Yes.
So Notre Dame didn't have the advantage.
Yeah.
Everybody's independent. Yeah.
One last question, and then we'll call it a podcast here. I want to go back to your playing days, Steve, because, the whole story about you coming here, I think most people, you're from Tennessee and how you got here. But 2 parts. What made you, in the end, decide to come to Florida? And then, assess your time here, your enjoyment of it, and what you got out of it.
Okay. Well, I was very blessed, choosing a college, if you're lucky enough to get a bunch of offers, is the first big decision of your life.
Yes,
it's
it
You're
is.
going to make it. So I asked my dad one day, we'd done all the visits. He went to Alabama with us when we actually drove down Friday night after a ball game and to visit Alabama. So anyway, my dad went on that trip and maybe one other up to Knoxville or somewhere. But anyway, they started recruiting me, during basketball season, and there was no signing day particular, so you sign anytime you want to after February 10 or something like that. So anyway, I took my time. Basketball was history, and then I visited Florida. Beautiful day, sunshine, and I actually got sick down here.
Did you?
Mono hit me.
Wow.
Somehow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a private plane. Coach found a booster had a plane. He got me back up there. But, I was out of school a week. That mono.
Yeah, I had that too. Yeah, I remember.
So I took a week off from school. But that and something different. I'm a person that don't do what everybody thinks you're supposed to do. What's the best in Florida is a school that hadn't won much in football. No conference championships, close. And in fact, we won the Gator Bowl in '60, and Florida beat Duke in the Gator Bowl. And I watched that one, and the Gators were fired up for that one now. That's when they wore that stupid Confederate flag, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was Coach Graves to play for?
Oh, he's wonderful. Coach Graves was in charge of the whole group. Coach Ellenson ran the defense, and over on offense, Fred Pankos and Gene Ellenson. So all the coaches coached a lot, and Coach Graves was more keeping everybody upbeat and ready to go.
All right, I'm going to end with this. Do you have a team in the playoff now, the teams that are alive? Do you have a favorite? Do you think somebody's going to win, or just kind of let's see how it plays out?
Well, I got to go with the Jags. They're playing well enough to make a good, serious run. Both the L.A. teams are the Chargers and the Rams and Chargers. Yeah, they look good. There's a lot of good teams and then some sorry ones also. Obviously.
That's the way it kind of always is, including my Jets, by the way.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Bucks and Charlotte team, they're fighting it out for that one. So that's fun watching. 500 may win that division.
This has been a special edition of Inside the Huddle, holiday edition. And again, want to thank Titan MRI Imaging and Meldon Law for sponsoring it. Thanks to Zach for producing it. We thank you for watching it. We wish you a very happy holiday, a great new year, and we appreciate you watching and listening to Inside the Huddle all year long. For the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier, I'm Steve Russell. Thank you for watching. See you later.